Somewhere here.
If our experts are to be trusted.
Diana dabbled in illusions, among other things.
He also experimented heavily with golems.
Golems with the power of speech, supposedly. They knew nothing of poetry, but...
Will you two shut up?
Yes, it's an illusion. I found a weak spot. Stand back. Later, Elorn. Lisa Elorn. Later, dear. It's reacting to my spell.
At times I'm caught. You can get my kind of feat. Though I have no needles, they say I am piercing. What am I?
Careful with the answer. It could be a trap.
Typical of dear Hannah. He was a genius with a penchant for mischievous jokes. Like a child.
So a couple of adults, purported experts, should have no problem solving this.
Indeed, it's trivial. The answer is pain.
Incorrect.
No! Impossible! So many years of research together. Why did we ever embark on this? Imagine the books, the potions.
Capable of kindness and cruelty, I take victims when I sour. I can be on your side or wrong you. I bring gifts, though you already have me.
All right. Help me out here.
I was good at riddles as a child, but that was so long ago. Perhaps it's a capricious king who rewards some subjects and sends others off to war.
Kind and cruel. Supportive and sour. Only lovers are that fickle. And they're occasionally thoughtful enough to give gifts.
A Lady Cynthia is an expert. I'd take her suggestion if I were you.
I once had a lover. She left me devastated.
Or could it be love? It seems to fit. It can be kind, the greatest gift, or cruel and take its toll.
It can also be blind. How about an elf? Some are kind and bring gifts, others are bitter and cruel.
Do you think this is a game? Our lives are on the line here.
Can you please repeat the...
Capable of kindness and cruelty, I take victims when I sour. I can be on your side or wrong you.
Fate.
Correct.
It's going rather well so far.
Not for everybody. Someone's been here recently.
Well, well, the competition's here. Kill them!
Neo, Barrier, the Fiend! Look out!
I'm a king!
They must have descended straight from their quarter.
Bled a Northling.
Another gun. Later. It's reacting to my spell.
I expected a greater challenge. Thus far we've had but riddles fit for beer enthusiasts.
I persuaded Gaspar to pursue...
A group of travelers wandering through the dark. 3 guides above them, so 3 were marked. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold.
Did I hear someone complain about the riddles being too easy?
Let's think this through. There are 9 alcoves, a fresco in each. That's 3 groups of 3 frescoes.
The riddle mentions 3 guides above the travelers. We must examine the frescoes, seek answers there.
I'll advise you about the riddle, but I will not take part in disarming the device. I've got a bad feeling about this.
What do you think of the first verse?
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing its own tail, which represents infinity and thus time. The hourglass likewise symbolizes time. In this case, the time of the traveler's journey.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy invariably portray dragons as winged, and as an accomplished alchemist, Gehenna would also be a competent astrologer. The verse must refer to the constellation.
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter, an essential component in the process of alchemical transformation. The verse seems to indicate the allegory illustrating that transformation.
Can someone remind me how the line was worded?
The first verse was, "At night they trailed a drake serpentine."
It should be the dragon constellation.
I shall take that one.
What do you think of the second verse?
To my mind, it speaks of the white rose, symbol of the Order of the Flaming Rose. You see, the fresco itself resembles a coat of arms, and in heraldry silver is rendered as white. So the Silver Lady and White Rose are one and the same.
I think it describes the full moon. In alchemy, the moon represents both silver as a metal and the feminine element.
The order remains largely unknown in the south, so the White Rose seems unlikely. Every Nilfgaardian, on the other hand, has heard of the Imperial Nausicaa Brigade, which has the Death's Head as its symbol. The brigade's name is female, and they say death follows the unit. So the Silver Lady could very well be Nausicaa or the Death's Head.
Can someone remind me how the line was worded?
As I recall, the second verse was, "A silver lady shining and fine, if only her visage she would deign to unfold."
It's the skull. Or at least it should be.
Allow me.
What do you say to the third verse?
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains. An ancient rule in alchemy states, as above, so below. The vault is the ravine into which the riches of the mountain flow.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests the Mahakam Mountains and its mines, from which dwarves and gnomes extract many ores that are invaluable to alchemists. Those mountains are a vault in and of themselves.
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue an imprisoned princess or find a long-concealed magic item. The mountain vault is the tower.
What do you say? The mine and I'll stay. Let's see. Take your places.
Count me out.
Try another combination. I expected a greater challenge. Thus far, we've had but riddles fit the beer.
Have a few more of their Hannah's.
A group of travelers wandering through. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed.
It should.
I shall take that one.
Allow.
The mine and I'll stand. Let's take your.
Count me out.
Intruder detected.
No!
Our expedition has grown thin. Such a shame. I actually found those two amusing.
Shut up.
Of course, my lady. One
I
buffoon
wager we
less.
have a few more of Der Hannah's surprises for unwanted visitors ahead. A golem. So Der Hannah's legend is true.
It is no more than an obedient machine created to follow orders and kill. Not un...
So I guess you. I don't run into them in every forest.
Geralt, I'm not...
Actually, you are questioning.
So now we've got...
My intention.
As are mine.
Der Hannah must.
The master and you.
Did your
I'm called.
a golem's name is
I own nothing. Everything belongs to my master. How?
powerful magic created you.
He is.
As a conscious being.
You are wrong. The pain of the world, melancholy.
But you can learn.
In my case, it comes from the will of the Master.
And do you feel a need to discuss?
I feel nothing.
Can I ask you for the name word which brought you to life and which can deactivate you?
Do that, and I
Can we discuss the program that controls your behavior?
Of course not.
I have other... Do you remember your creator?
Of course, I abide by his will, by his power, by the necessity encased in my stone bowels.
Derhenna is dead.
His word, which animates me, lives on, as does his legacy, which I protect. Empires will rise and fall, rivers will shift their courses, but I will remain obedient to one master.
Derhenna must have been an exceptional man. Can you tell me about him?
I guard everything that belonged to the master, including his privacy, which he valued highly. I can tell you nothing.
I have other... So you're aware you're an automaton?
Do we really know who we are, where we came from, and where we are headed? Is human life predictable in that the cycle of birth and death ensnares it, better than mine? When a human is born, he is obedient to his parents. Later, he listens to tutors, masters, corporals. Finally, he succumbs to the will of death.
And to think that Adalbert questioned Derhenna's mastery. Has anyone tried to enter before?
I recall no intruders. I do, however, remember guests who left after being warned.
When was that? What did you discuss?
I am a machine. My memory is limited.
Who, if anyone, is allowed to pass?
Derhenna, but he is dead. Also guests may pass, but I stop intruders.
Tell me more. Who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Is it not obvious? A guest keeps his distance, or knows the name word. An intruder is anyone who enters too far, attacks me, or otherwise interferes with my being.
You're far more self-aware than a typical golem. Can you make sovereign decisions?
The master made me the way I am, because long discussions were to his liking.
So you decide who's a guest and who's an intruder.
Who else would? Guests chat innocuously, exert.
I have other... All right, I think I know how to get past this thing without a fight.
Burglar witchers, philosopher golems, an expedition replete with fascinating discoveries.
And terrible disappointments.
We know you exist by the will of your master.
That is true.
You were created to discern intruders.
Intruders must...
Are you aware that
I have stone fists to defend myself against those armed with swords. I have my iron logic to defend against those armed with words.
But intruders could include sorcerers who alter reality. They could be illusionists or mere liars. What then is certain?
My existence is certain.
Since only you and the master, a malicious intruder, could cloud your...
I am the guardian.
He couldn't foresee everything. So your master says, greet guests and stop intruders. That would be a...
Guests must be greeted. Are you a guest?
Doesn't matter what I answer. Your senses deceive you. You can trust only your mind. You can't assume I'm a guest, because I may be an intruder. You can't assume I'm an intruder, because I may be a guest.
This is A contradiction. A paradox. The law of excluded middle.
We've done it. We've penetrated their Henna...